What's going on, y'all? It's Liam Crowley with ScreenRant. I'm here at South by Southwest, and I am now joined by the team behind Brother vs. Brother. Guys, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you so much for having us.
This is such a fascinating story with how this was put together. Francis Ford Coppola wrote a book. It inspired what you were piecing together, and your family is on display, and you're all playing fictionalized versions of yourself. Can you kind of just set the stage with how the story came together?
Well, okay.
Take it. That's Ari Gold, my brother.
And this
Take
is
it away.
Ethan Gold, my brother. This is not my brother. This is Lara Louise. Ethan and I grew up in San Francisco, and spent a lot of time in North Beach, where our father lived. And I picked up a book called Live Cinema and Its Techniques, written by Francis Ford Coppola. And there was one sentence he says in the middle of the book where something like, the holy grail of art, where art is what it is itself, or something like the work of art is life itself. He put it better than this, but the concept was that he was presenting this idea of creating a theatrical experience of cinema where you shoot live, and in his case actually with multiple cameras, but I saw it a little bit as a challenge or a call to arms. Can you do this about real life? And so I proposed to my brother and to my friends that we make a movie set in North Beach, shot live on the streets, playing ourselves, or versions of ourselves, but in a fiction, and as a musical, sort of, or music-driven, yeah.
And Ethan, you were heavily involved in the music element, wrote the original songs for this film?
Yeah, actually, some of it was Ari. He had us a couple songs, but yeah, I was
He wrote most of them.
I wrote most of the songs. We've played together as the Brothers Gold, so there's a fictional thing that happens in the film has some element of truth, where we used to play these kind of comedic songs, and he would try to get me playing my non-comedic songs, and it, in a way, the film kind of reflects an earlier period of our struggles as artists, and so yeah. But there's songs and score that I did for the film, so that's all. It's a very musical film, but it's not a musical. We don't break into song in the sense of Broadway. You know, it's all real because we're playing musicians, but there's music throughout the film.
So the camera follows us into various clubs, and Lara plays, again, a version of herself who knows everyone in town and helps us get into these various bars and cafes and clubs, and kind of forces us on stage where we then play. And this is all done live in the real spaces.
This is actually also how we met in real life. I was playing at a bar in North Beach, and that's how I know Ari. So it's a lot of parts are very close to reality.
So what was that experience like on set when you're kind of revisiting real moments? Did you feel that kind of catharsis?
A little bit. The situation was a little different, of course, because usually I have a sound system and everything, and it was just in a different bar, in a different setting, and of course with all the film people around, but the essence was the same.
What's the most exciting part about playing yourselves?
Well, it's complicated because, I know my brother and I have a very brother-like relationship, in that there's a lot of love and there's also a lot of conflict. Anyone who has a sibling knows about this. And so in order to make sure that the story...
I nearly clocked him 2 days
Yeah,
ago
it's true.
in the face.
So not
Just-
even kidding. So that created an opportunity to kind of exaggerate certain sides of our personalities in order to make the story work in 90 minutes. So, if you were to follow us this morning for 90 minutes, it might not be that interesting. So I wanted a story that had, some real drive and conflict. And so I think I come off as a little bit of a douchebag in one of the, scenes. He calls me a douchebag. So in the beginning, I'm kind of like, I'm 2 minutes older than him in real life, but I'm acting like the older brother who knows everything. And, which sometimes happens, but in real life, the roles reverse too, where sometimes he's the one acting like the older brother. So it was fun to sort of make a choice about what version of ourselves we were playing for this 90-minute story.
You guys have anything else to add about the fictionalized versions of yourselves?
Well, our father, we should talk about, I'm pointing back at our poetry book, but, our father was 99 at the time we did the shoot, and had never acted before, but we really wanted to capture everything that was magical about this literary, an icon, at least within his 3-block radius of North Beach, and he really plays himself beautifully in the movie, and anyone with aging parents and dealing with the difficulty of separating from the people they love, either through the fear of death or, in the case of a brother or sister relationship, fear of separation just in life. I hope we'll kind of connect with that universality. So.
Very much so. Francis Ford Coppola was an executive producer. The news broke earlier this week.
It broke yesterday.
Yeah,
a few hours before our screening, which was amazing.
It's funny because in the article I'm reading, it's like, and the film premiered today. I'm like, well, he didn't do work on this film for 24 hours. How long has he been involved for?
Well, first of all, he to some degree inspired it because of this book, but then also we filmed all around Zoetrope, and actually we mixed in his basement, and we did the final mix on his winery. So we've been connected to his organization for a while, and I think he's been tracking it from a distance, wondering if it was going to be any good, and it seems to have gone well. So he was, I suppose, like the godfather of the movie that
No
is
pun
behind
intended.
a door the whole time.
It's kind of amazing he stepped in literally yesterday, which was the day of the premiere and the day of our father's birthday. So I'd just like to say how cool that was, that all sort of maybe non-coincidentally all coalesced in the same moment in time. So we're really
So grateful.
honored that
Yeah.
he's coming behind the film at this moment, and we'll see where it goes.
Very cool. Was the plan always to bring it to South by?
The plan was to do whatever we could to get it out.
I love South by.
Yeah, and I actually,
Just for the
I
record.
had 2 short films here. This is going to sound like whatever. I'm wearing a top hat, so I'll brag for a second. But I won Best Short 2 years in a row from South by, and then I made 2 features that I love, and Ethan did incredible music and work on both of them, and both of them were rejected by South by. So, one never knows what's going to happen with the movie, and we're really honored to be back with this one.
Ethan, you have something to add? I just saw you raising the microphone. I didn't know if you
Oh
had
no!
something else.
I was going to make a joke that there was like a potato chip falling off his shoulder now, but something like that. But
About getting turned down.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the
No,
nature of making art. Is you don't know who's going to like it and who's going to want to.
And I'm sure
Open
people
that
may
door.
have liked the film too, and I know they have hard decisions when they're letting in things. We're super excited to be here. I feel like South by is really on the rise as a festival. I mean, it's been on the rise, but I don't know. There's some kind of sense of coalition happening right now, and
Coalescosity.
bingo.
Nice. That's a new one. We haven't heard
I
that
think
one.
I've used a variant of that word twice in this interview, which is a little silly.
We'll wrap with this one, guys. This film tackles finding meaning through various things, but specifically what stuck out to me was song. Do each of you have a song that you've kind of found new meaning of life through? It can be from this film. It can be just from your own personal
Well, I
fandom.
love music. I mean, we were talking before cameras were rolling. We were talking about your Irish heritage and that we developed the story somewhat in West Cork area. Was where the idea Ari had. I was living in Berlin, and we went there. But I think for me, the sense of the old songwriting tradition as a part Scots-Irish, forgive me, not full Irish.
There's no bad blood. It's all one happy kingdom.
Yeah. But the Scottish Irish, the sense of song being such an old tradition for me, just in general. I'm not quite answering your question, but I just really, when I travel in the UK and in Ireland, I feel the sense of this old history of songwriting and the troubadour, and so for me, this film was just a wonderful way to kind of tap into that spirit through the story that of these brothers, and that's a universal thing. And so the songs are kind of like the songs of the wandering troubadour in my life, or my version of it.
He has a song that closes out the movie called Brothers Keep Going, which is sort of about our relationship. It's sort of about any set of brothers. And the seeds of it came from a little tour we did where we went to UK and then we went to West Cork, and we were actually going into cafes and playing live just like we do in the movie, but not in San Francisco, on those green islands. So that history is infused into the songs that he wrote.
Very much so. Lara, any particular songs?
Well, from this movie, I agree. I really liked the last one, and I hadn't really had the chance to hear the lyrics of all Ethan's songs because during the recording it was all kind of chaotic, and so yesterday during the premiere I actually had a chance to hear all the lyrics, and I thought the songwriting for this movie was very, very good.
Thank you.
Very special. Glad you guys got to bring this one to South by. The crowds are always phenomenal here. So
They are.
Congrats again on bringing this project to life.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.